Hey there, this is my guide for getting the best truck in the game as early as possible. Beware though, this guide is not easy. The path to the Zikz 605R requires a lot of missions and around 50 kilometers of driving. I'm displaying this tutorial with vanilla trucks and no mods at all, so if you do like to use mods, this may speed up your progress. You will have to use your skills and ingenuity to overcome icy roads, deep mud and snow, all without access to any off-road or mud tires. To complete this, I used 3 trucks. The Azov 64131 for its good stock tires, power with all-wheel drive and diff lock always on. Next, the Voron D, as it has access to all-terrain tires when you buy it, plus it can utilize the crane trailer flatbed combo. And finally, the Kolob 74941 for its bulk and massive tires. All of these trucks are available from level 2, as long as you have the money to buy them. If your goal is to obtain the Zikz 605R, then you have access to DLC trucks. What I did after the tutorial is sold all my vehicles so I could buy the 3 I just mentioned, and this also allows me to buy the trailers I need, which then can be sold later on. So on to the guide. What I recommend doing first is equipping your main cargo truck with a crane and flatbed and grabbing a trailer. I suggest the ramp flatbed trailer that has 4 slots, and follow the route shown across the ice. There are 2 gaps in the ice to cross, so you'll need a bit of speed, but not too much or else you'll take quite a bit of damage. Once across the first gap, keep to the darker blue ice, stay close to the coast, and follow this around to the second gap. This gap is a little larger, but once you're across, you'll be fine. Again, stick to the ice and travel towards the right until you see a shallow snowbank. Plow through and up the hill until you get to the road, and then once at the road, take a left towards the warehouse area. Watch out for these concrete slabs in the road. There are a few more dotted around Erska River, and they will annihilate your suspension and wheels, so take your time. In the warehouse area is the warehouse trouble task, and you'll need to activate this task, as well as the bridge to the warehouse task down the road by the unbuilt bridge. Completing warehouse trouble unlocks a second cargo pickup location at the warehouse, so that this one location will provide all of the materials needed to clear the way and build the bridges to get to the Cosmodrome. For warehouse trouble, I'm using the Kolob because we'll be travelling through some deep snow and a bog. Come out of the garage, down the river and bear right. Follow the ice along, again sticking to the darker patches. Follow my route if you're unsure where to go. Before you get to the unbuilt bridge, turn right and plow your way up towards the road and then make a quick left, then right, and then left back down onto the ice. Again, if you're unsure, just follow what I'm doing. Back on the ice, this area is easier to navigate with larger, more solid ice patches. Head across until you see some housing remnants and an electricity pylon on the right. Head to the little track, turn left, and then turn right at the junction where you'll see some logs that make up the road. Follow the road until I peel off, as you're heading into the swamp to grab the trailer that's needed. It will be slow going. Once you're hooked up, head back the way you came, all the way back to the garage, except you're heading to the warehouse, so you've got to make those 2 ice crossings again. Deliver the trailer and hey presto, the first task is complete. There are 3 bridges to be built before we can get to the Cosmodrome. Each is a 2-stage task requiring 2 metal beams and 2 service spare parts, 6 cargo slot points each time. I make a whoopsie here before realizing I need the bigger trailer. So when you're ready, load yourself up with 2 metal beams and 2 service spare parts and complete the warehouse bridge mission. Next up is the landslide on the highway task. So for speed, head back to the warehouse straight away and just load yourself up with 2 wooden planks on the flatbed with the crane, and then hold the service spare part unit over the back of the truck with the crane. Hauling a trailer just for 1 piece of cargo is a bit of a waste and will just slow you down. Head down the road and across the bridge you've just built and continue to follow the road, and you will eventually come to the rocket assembly plant. Continue to follow the road around the mountain until you reach the landslide. Once you're there, activate the mission, unload the cargo, and boom, that's the second step done. For speed now, just recover to the garage and then head back to the warehouse. Now you'll need your ramp flatbed trailer again, so hook up and load up with 2 metal beams and 2 service spare parts again as you did for the warehouse bridge, as we will now build the bridge to the island, followed by the bridge to the town. These bridges are essentially in the same place, but they do have the same cargo requirements, so you will need to make the drive twice. So follow the route in the same manner as we did for the landslide, except carry on down the hill, though do be careful as this road undulates severely. After completing the first bridge, it's again quicker to just leave the trailer, recover to the garage, so just buy a new trailer and head back to the warehouse and load up again with metal beams and spare service parts. Once you've built the second bridge, it's time to activate the heap of work contract, which again will require 2 full trips from the warehouse to the gateway, transporting in total 2 metal beams, 4 wooden planks, and 4 spare service parts. This equals a total of 12 cargo points, although our setup is only capable of running 6 points at a time. This is where it might be useful to have a friend on standby so you can do the drive at the same time, as this drive is long and tough. Once past the 2 new bridges and the town, you come across a ruined bridge, meaning that you need to divert through the woods on a mud trail. There are plenty of trees if you need to winch for extra support. Once you're on the ice road again, take care to avoid the boulders and dips where they come up, and use your winch tactically for climbing hills if you're losing traction. Eventually you will make it to the gateway, and you can drop off your first cargo load. You may also want to grab the bottoms up task to get the fuel station up and running. This is especially important for hard mode players or New Game Plus players that are paying for fuel, as it's nice and cheap here. For the bottoms up task, you will need a truck with a low saddle to hold the nearby semi-tanker trailer, and that's what the Azov Zikz is for. If you're on your own, repeat your recovery to the garage and buy another new trailer and head to the warehouse for the last time to grab the last 6 cargo pieces and make the drive across the map. On this last transit though, make sure to take your low saddle truck as well, either by winching it or have it winch you to save on travel time so you don't need to drive a third time. When you cross the bridges to town, leave the low saddle truck by the town and then continue with your cargo to the gateway. Once delivered, you will begin phase 2 of the contract, which is to deliver a service trailer which is located in the very bottom right of the map. So jump in your low saddle truck, head through the town and up the hill behind the factory. The hill is a bit muddy, so that's why it's better to use something that's a bit more bulky, say with 8-wheel drive. The trailer itself is located in the very back corner, as you can see on the screen. Deliver it to the gateway and voila! Feel free to sort out the bottom up task while you're here, but if not, head through the gateway to the Cosmodrome with some of the trailers you might want to sell. Don't forget to actually go to the garage here, or else if you recover, you'll go all the way back to Urska River. Follow the road and there is a task and a pit that is nearly impossible to cross. The ground has no friction at all, but you can winch yourself across it, albeit very slowly. Pop into the garage for some refueling and repairs and equip a van body add-on, as you will need the repair points. Head out of the garage and park by the gate, and then jump back into the garage to grab a scout so you can buy a scout fuel trailer. You will tow the scout fuel trailer with the truck with the van body to make sure that you have enough fuel for the Zikz. I don't equip a maintenance add-on here due to the overhang at the back, as I don't want to risk it getting me stuck while going over or around roadblocks. Once loaded up, we'll head out, and this time we aren't clearing any of the obstacles, as we can either go over or around them. As you can see from the map on the screen, it is a long old way, so just take your time, and there are lots of hazards on the way. And remember that if you are using the Azov, you don't have mud tires, so avoid those bad patches. Following roughly what I do should keep you out of trouble. The route should only take about 15 to 20 minutes, though the last part is a bit fiddly, as you'll need to sort of winch yourself up over the rocks using the trees and then winch the fuel trailer up so you don't leave it behind. When you get to the Zikz, you'll discover the Stargazer task, so activate it and then repair and refuel, and hey presto, you are rank 7 and you now have the best truck in the game. From start to finish, this was about 3 to 4 hours though. For me, there was some messing around and some trial and error, so this isn't a quick, easy fix for getting the Zikz 605R. It is definitely a slog. If you have found this video useful, then please let me know down below, and well done if you've made it this far too. I want to thank you very much for watching, and on screen you can see my review of this truck, so make sure to now watch that, and have a great day.